Alex never thought twice about the dusty moon globe inherited from his grandmother's estate. It sat forgotten on his bookshelf until one night when a strange blue glow filled his dark apartment. What began as simple curiosity about an old keepsake led him to scientists who examined the antique with trembling hands. When Alex unpacked the few items from his late grandmother's estate, there wasn't much to sort through. A photo album, some vintage jewelry, a few books, and an old moon globe. The globe looked ordinary enough at first glance, just a standard representation of the lunar surface, with its familiar craters and dark seas. Nothing special. Alex placed it absently on his bookshelf among his collection of science fiction novels and promptly forgot about it. The weeks passed as Alex settled back into his routine. Working from home as a graphic designer meant long nights hunched over his computer. It was during one of these late-night work sessions that something strange caught his eye. A faint blue light was emanating from his bookshelf. Alex initially thought it might be a reflection from his computer screen, but when he turned to look directly at it, he realized the source was the moon globe. Alex frowned. The globe had never done this before. It didn't even have batteries as far as he knew. He stood up and walked over to the shelf, carefully lifting the globe from its wooden stand. The light pulsed gently beneath his fingers, warm to the touch. As he examined it closer, he noticed markings on the surface he hadn't seen before. Curious, Alex set the globe down and grabbed his phone. He opened his browser and searched for recent NASA images of the moon. After finding a high-resolution photograph, he compared it to the glowing globe on his shelf. His heart skipped a beat. The new markings on the globe perfectly matched a newly discovered crater formation that had just been announced in the news, a formation that wasn't known when the globe was manufactured decades ago. This didn't make any sense. How could an old globe show features that were only just discovered? Alex checked the base of the globe for any sign of modern technology. Maybe this wasn't his grandmother's old globe after all. A small metal plate on the bottom shows the globe was manufactured in 1989. Sleep eluded Alex that night as he researched lunar geography and compared notes with the strange markings on his globe. By morning, he had convinced himself there must be a rational explanation. But what? He needed a second opinion. Alex called his friend Emma, who worked as a research assistant in the university's astronomy department. He tried to sound casual as he asked if she could stop by after work to look at something interesting. Emma agreed, though she sounded puzzled by his vague request. When Emma arrived that evening, Alex had already set up the globe on his coffee table. The blue glow had faded during the day, but was starting to return as the sun set. Emma laughed when she first saw it, assuming this was some kind of joke. But when Alex explained what he had observed, her smile faded. Emma examined the globe carefully, her trained eye catching details. She pointed out that not only did the globe show the recently discovered crater formation, but the positioning and depth of the marking were incredibly accurate, more accurate than even some of the university's models. As they watched in shared disbelief, new lines began to appear on the surface of the globe. Faint at first, then growing more distinct. Emma grabbed her tablet and quickly searched for the latest lunar news. Her face paled as she pulled up an article published just hours earlier. NASA had discovered a previously unknown cave system beneath the lunar surface, but the information wasn't yet public knowledge. It had only been shared within scientific circles. The markings on the globe were mapping out the exact cave system that had just been discovered. Emma immediately called her professor, Dr. Chen, despite the late hour. Her urgent tone convinced him to come over, bringing some equipment from the lab. After 2 hours of testing, Dr. Chen made several calls. By midnight, 3 more scientists from the university had crowded into Alex's small apartment, all of them staring at the impossible globe. The next morning, Dr. Chen gathered his colleagues for an emergency meeting at the university. Alex and the globe were brought to a secure laboratory where more extensive tests could be conducted. Scientists from various departments huddled around conference tables, arguing theories and possibilities. Dr. Chen silenced the room by pounding his fist on the table. The globe should not exist, he declared emphatically. It was showing real-time changes on the moon's surface that only their most advanced satellites could detect. Word spread quickly through academic channels. Within days, researchers from across the country were arriving to study the mysterious globe. NASA officials contacted Alex directly, requesting permission to examine the artifact. The quiet life he had known was rapidly disappearing as his apartment became a hub of scientific activity. Amidst all the chaos, Alex found himself staring at the wooden stand that had held the globe. Something about it seemed off. Upon closer inspection, he discovered a small compartment hidden in the base. Inside was a sealed envelope, yellowed with age, with his name written on it in his grandmother's handwriting. Alex retreated to his bedroom, away from the scientists still examining the globe, and carefully opened the envelope. Inside was a letter, dated 15 years earlier. The letter was cryptic, with his grandmother explaining she had kept the globe safe all these years, knowing someday it would reveal its purpose. She believed the scientist had been silenced for discovering something authorities didn't want known. The final line of the letter simply read, "The truth is in the stars, Alex. Some things can't remain hidden forever." While Alex was processing this revelation, a commotion broke out in his living room. The globe was changing again, now showing strange geometric patterns emerging from beneath the lunar surface. The patterns were unlike anything the scientists had seen before, precise lines forming complex symbols that seemed to radiate from the dark side of the moon. The revelation sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Within hours, government officials arrived at Alex's apartment, presenting documents that would allow them to confiscate the globe for national security purposes. On the far side of the moon, the side that always faces away from Earth, the globe now showed what looked like massive doors opening. The blue glow intensified, highlighting these new features with pulsing light. Dr. Chen, who had been examining the latest satellite data from the university's feed, burst into the room with startling news. Something impossible was happening on the lunar surface, something that matched exactly what the globe was showing. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter had captured images of structural changes occurring in real time, precisely where the globe indicated. The truth emerged rapidly after that. The moon contained artificial structures built by an unknown civilization, structures that had remained dormant for thousands of years, until recent lunar missions had accidentally activated an ancient beacon. The globe, they finally admitted, was based on classified readings from lunar probes in the 1980s. The scientist who created it had been trying to warn humanity before he was silenced. Somehow, he had embedded technology in the globe that continued to receive and display data from whatever monitoring system the unknown builders had left behind. Alex now understood that his grandmother wanted him to reveal the truth of the globe. We were never alone in the universe, and those who had built the structures on the moon were now responding to our signal. The mysterious doors on the far side of the moon continued to open, preparing for what many feared, or hoped, would be the return of those who had watched humanity evolve from the beginning. Alex's inherited globe had become the herald of a new era for mankind, an era where we would finally meet our ancient watchers. And you, would you want to know what lies behind those doors on the dark side of the moon? Or are some discoveries better left unmade?